Hello, everybody. So I kind of just wanted to assess the Crawford fight a little bit from last night. Still got a big grin on my face about it. You know, I did pick him and Inoue both to win this week. Didn't get the Nonito fight right, but, you know, Nonito's age caught up with him. It is what it is. So, I say that to say this. Once in a while, you see a pound-for-pound guy fight another guy that some people consider pound-for-pound, in this case, Errol Spence. Just get masterclass and get the fucking brakes beaten off of him. And that's exactly what this was, man. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. It's kind of like Pacquiao-Barrera. Now, Pacquiao, I don't know if Pacquiao was on the pound-for-pound list at the time. He may have been, but on the lower end. But Pacquiao, you know, when he went over there in 2003 and just beat the shit out of Marco Antonio Barrera, Barrera was number 2 or number 3 pound for pound at the time. I believe he was number 2, but that's one of those type of performances we saw last night. And I'm not comparing Spence to Barrera because obviously Barrera is far greater than Spence will ever be, but you know, or another good example would be Barrera, what he did to Prince Nassim Hamed. You know, where this guy that's supposedly a pound-for-pound fighter, like I say, in this case, Errol Spence, just gets totally dismantled. I don't like to use the word hype, but, because I don't think Spence is a hype job. I just think you saw a good fighter get massacred by a great one last night. That's the best way I can sum it up to you. You know, and I'll give you a third example, even like Ali Foreman. You know, Foreman was the big bad wolf that knocked out the 2 guys that had defeated Muhammad Ali, and Ali went over there and put a masterclass on him. Foreman had his moments early on, but Ali put a masterclass on him, and you know, there's a few like that I can think of. You know, what the hell was the other one I had in mind? Oh, it's gonna escape me now. Pacquiao Cotto. You know, Pacquiao Cotto. That was another one where you just see two. I didn't have Errol Spence on my pound for pound list, but most people did. Okay. And when you see 2 guys on the pound for pound list and one of them just completely dismantles and outclasses the other, it speaks volumes, man. And Terrance Crawford, bro, I have to say it, Terrance Crawford's one of the best welterweights I've ever seen, man. He really is. You know, I can't speak for what happened in the 20s and 30s and 40s and shit like that because there's no film of that. But Leonard, Hearns, De La Hoya, Trinidad, Pacquiao, Floyd, yes. Crawford has now, I'm not saying he's better or worse than any of them, but he's definitely put himself in that same bracket. I'm just talking, as far as welterweights go, I'm not even talking about pound for pound, because Pacquiao and Duran and Leonard and all them are a little higher than Crawford pound for pound, in my opinion. But as far as the welterweights go, and another thing is, similarly to De La Hoya and Pacquiao and Duran, those 3 in particular, they started off at a smaller weight class than welterweight too. So as far as I'm concerned, everybody should be giving Terrance Crawford his credit. Like I say, we put on a masterclass. Again, just like I was saying with Crawford Spence, that's what happens when you get a good fighter in there with a great one. Fulton and Inoue was the same thing. Doesn't matter which one you got, number 1 or number 2 pound for pound, but that has to be your top 2 without a shadow of a doubt. And Usyk's a close third, right? But that has to be the top 2 pound for pound. But this dude, bro, the way he took Spence apart, it's honestly one of the best performances I've seen in years. And Inoue Fulton. And I can't think of another time where we've had 2 pound-for-pound greats just put on a absolute fucking masterclass in that short of a time span as we just had with regards to Inoue and Crawford, man. I can't think of one, or another short time frame like that, Another good one, if you wanted to say this, I understand De La Hoya blew it in the last 3 or 4 rounds because he, danced around or whatever, but watch the first 8 rounds of De La Hoya Trinidad. Put on a master class against Felix Trinidad, and Trinidad was a monster. Same type of thing, man. Same type of thing that happened last night, bro. So I just hope that, and I'm an Inoue fan, I'm a Crawford fan, I'm an Usyk fan, I'm a fan of all 3 of them dudes. But I just hope that people give Terrance Crawford his just due, because this man got ducked and avoided by Errol Spence for years on end. He had to go over to their network, play by their rules, sign their deal, and he went over there and stomped them out after coming out to Lose Yourself by Eminem, which was also awesome, right? So that just speaks volumes of the greatness of Terrance Crawford, bro. He is definitely right up there with, again, post Pacquiao Mayweather era, which I would say even ended a little bit before they even fought. Last decade or so, we'll just call it. You got Loma, you got Usyk, you got Crawford, you had Nonito, but he's definitely the best 5 or 6 fighters of this era, without even a shadow of a doubt, if not top 3. And I don't think that's really debatable anymore, man. And, we can say that Spence fought the better version of Brook and Porter, which he may have. But the fact of the matter is, Crawford fought both of them, and those are Errol Spence's 2 best wins, and he knocked them both out. It's not even a dispute anymore, man. As far in modern boxing, in the modern era of boxing, Crawford is one of the best welterweights ever, okay? And what I consider modern boxing is 1960 forward, Ali era forward, okay? That's what other people, historians and shit, might dispute what they would consider modern boxing. That's what I consider modern boxing, the Ali era forward, okay? And Terrance Crawford is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the 5 or 6 or 7 best welterweights of the modern era of boxing, okay? And people need to give that man his credit, give that man his due. He worked hard to achieve it, and he had to wait a long time to get this crack at Errol Spence. And when he got his opportunity, just like the song Lose Yourself says, one shot, one opportunity, blah. When the opportunity finally came, he capitalized it, dominated him, dropped him 3 times, barely lost a round. I only gave Errol Spence 1 round in that fight, the first round. The only other round that I even thought was remotely close was the 3rd. Okay? Crawford dropped him 3. He had to wait 5 years for this opportunity. 1 shot, 1 opportunity. And when he got it, he capitalized on it, and he butchered the man, bro. Butchered him, pounded on him from pillar to post, bro. And if you're a real man, if you're a real boxing fan, you should be giving Terrance Crawford his credit, point blank, period. Because if not, you just a fanboy or a sucker, or you have some type of agenda. Because what that dude did last night was spectacular, to put it quite frank. Just like what Inoue did a few days prior was spectacular. And that's why those 2 dudes are the best 2 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, regardless of who you got 1 and 2, like I say. So I just wanted to speak my piece on Crawford. Amazing performance, one of the best performances, along with the Inoue Fulton that we've seen in some odd years. Hats off to the man. Shout out to Omaha, Nebraska. Midwest in the building, baby. Sent Errol Spence back to the ranch to play brokeback boxing with Derek James and the Charlo sisters. I'm talking about. Everybody, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Big ups to Terrance Crawford, Bo Mack, and the whole crew. And let's get this shit cracking. And I know what you're going to say. What's next for him? I would say it's either going to be Keith Thurman or Boots Ennis, bro. So, because he's going to defend Undisputed once or twice. So, that would be my speculation. So, with that said, God bless everybody. Have a lovely Sunday, and I'll talk to you next time. Salute.